will start the second part of caring for our water. In the last class, we discussed about the indigenous method of rainwater harvesting like Johads, Eris in Tamil Nadu and Kunds. Now, let us discuss about the modern methods of rainwater harvesting. So, before starting that, now let us learn about what is water management. What is water management? It is nothing but a prevention and conservation of the depletion and degradation of the water and making the water use making use of the available water resources for the present and future needs. That is the meaning of water management. Now, what are the modern techniques used for rainwater harvesting? Rooftop catchment or rooftop water harvesting. Percolation pits. So, from the rooftop water catchment, so water will be collected in the percolation pits for individual use. Building check dams to prevent soil erosion. Percolation ponds to store the water for livestock and to recharge the groundwater. Farm ponds will collect the excess rainwater and that water can be used for the fields for farming. Recharging water aquifers like bore wells, recharge pits and trenches will be used for collecting the rainwater. Awareness programs to bring the awareness about the importance and conservation methods that will help in conserving the water. What are the new techniques used for rainwater harvesting? Construction of dams, managing river basins, river valley projects, leaking urban supply system should be replaced. Mass awareness programs by educating the people to conserve water and recharging of groundwater. So why we have to conserve the water? What are the reasons to harvest water, rainwater? To meet the demands for the people as the population is increasing at a rapid rate. To recharge the underground water as due to population we are extracting more water. To control the floods and prevent soil erosion. And it provides naturally the clean and soft water. It is easiest to conserve the water. What are the advantages of rainwater? So, rainwater harvesting. What are the advantages of rainwater harvesting? It is the activity of collecting the rainwater by constructing ponds or by rooftop water harvesting or different methods. Mainly this helps in recharging the groundwater and it is eco-friendly method. It increases the availability of water and reduces the pressure of the surface water. It decreases the dependency on the underground water. It improves the quality of the groundwater and that will be done by diluting the salinity. It prevents the runoff of water from the agricultural fields or any other things and allows it to fall into drains. It prevents soil erosion and floods in nearby areas. So dams are the water storage systems. So the main purpose of dams, constructing dams is to store the water and that water can be used for many purposes. Especially that storage will be done by the rivers. So it helps in generating electricity and mainly in irrigation. It encourages large ships to sail on it. It controls the floods. It provides recreational activities like swimming, boating, etc. It gives refuges to wildlife and especially preserve farmlands by reducing soil erosion. And also It provides water for industrial purpose. What are the adverse environmental impacts for the by constructing large dams? Destruction of habitats. As for constructing, we are using forests. Rehabilitation program are inadequate. It is improper and fail to preserve the communities of the displaced people. And mainly irrigation lands are submerged, that results in the destruction of ecosystems and river water. It is causes threat to rare biological species, especially in Silent Valley or Western Ghats and Himalayas. Aquatic life gets disturbed. Forests lose their catchment areas, and as it will be submerged, and it leads to loss of river banks. It leads to loss of many archaeological and cultural sites. So, what are the advantages or scope of small dams? So, small dams are built on the small rivers or streams. So, they create a reservoir or runoff river mode without storing the water. It generates a small amount of electricity. It diverts a small amount of irrigation water into and reduces siltation. What are the disadvantages or limitations? So it has a less adverse effects on the environment and only few disturbances to human beings. So effect of large dams on the environment. So here it is a dam actually is constructed to control the uh, flow of water, and it also traps the sediments and especially nutrients. It alters the river chemistry and temperature. It affects the geological processes and causes ecological imbalance. Navigable rivers becomes unnavigable. It also affects in the fishing, especially in the downstreams. So what are the reasons for the opposition of proposing the construction of large dams? Because a large number of people has to be displaced from their lands, and millions suffers from livelihood, because our livelihood will be, they will lose their livelihood. Loss of fisheries and it contaminates the water. Decreased amount of water due to the evaporation and diversion. It reduces the fertility of the farmlands, and even forest also forest cover is reduced due to the loss of natural vegetation. And even these dams spread waterborne diseases like malaria, typhoid, etc. A percolation pit. So it is an artificially created surface water body. It is an artificially created surface water body submerging a highly permeable land area, so that surface runoff is controlled, and also it recharges the groundwater. Recharge trench. So it is provided where upper impervious layer of the soil is shallow, and this trench excavated on the ground and with porous media like pebbles, boulders and brick beds, which will help in recharging the groundwater. Runoff river system. So it is a type of hydroelectric generation system without storing the water. The running water is diverted through a channel and made to fall on the turbine to generate electricity. So wastewater recycling. So why we have to recycle the wastewater? To reduce the pressure on the potable water, we are using this waste, we are treating the wastewater. So wastewater recycling, it can, the recycled water can be used for agriculture, lands, irrigation and industrial purposes, and also for recharging the groundwater. Another type of recycled water which can be reusable for like residential areas, commercial and industrial bathroom sinks, and even for bathroom showers, drains and to drains also, and for washing cloths, and to clean the equipments, and to maintain the landscapes, and even for irrigation. So what is the need to recycle the water? It reduces the pressure on the potable water and it conserves potable water. It provides the environmental benefits by decreasing the diversion of water, wastewater into sensitive ecosystems. It decreases the wastewater discharge from the water bodies and reduces the water pollution. It can be used to create a riparian habitats, and even it can be used to create wetlands. By using recycled water for non-potable uses, it saves the potable water. It provides additional resource of water. So now the last method for the conservation of water is dry composting toilets. Dry composting toilets. So it is a toilet that does not uses more water, and the waste it is will be dumped in the land. It will be allowed to pass to the land and after the resting period. And the work of this composting toilet conditions uh, mainly for helps in rapid decomposition of the human waste, including pathogenic organisms and into humus. This system relies on the unsaturated dry conditions where aerobic bacteria break down waste. Many desert communities and hill stations, we have this type of toilets. So what are the benefits of dry compost toilets? So the organic waste, organic matter, organic waste will added back to the soil, where that increases the moisture of the nutrients of the soil, and no cleaners, chemical cleaners or bleachers can be used, are needed in the toilets. As long as the decomposition is aerobic, so we don't have any it will not cause any, or it will not release any greenhouse gases. No electricity is needed, and no pipes are also needed to transport the waste to the farms. The cost is less and it does not occupy more space, and main thing, it conserves and saves water. Ramsar Convention. So it is an international treaty for the conservation and protection of the wetlands to stop the progressive encroachment of the wetlands and recognizing the fundamental ecological function of the wetlands. So this agreement has signed in Ramsar, Iran in 1971. It came into force in 1975. Now there are 158 contracting parties to this convention and 1832 wetland sites, which covers 170 million hectares. And these wetlands are the transitional zones between permanently aquatic and dry terrestrial ecosystem. What are the objectives of Ramsar Convention? So its main objective is the conservation and protection of the wetlands to achieve sustainable development. These conventional parties meets every year, 3 years, and promote policies and guidelines. The standing committee representatives representing the 6 Ramsar regions of the world and meet annually to guide the convention. Local, regional, national actions act in the will work together with the international cooperation. By this, we come to the we come to the end of the 6th lesson, caring for our water.